Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I thought today we could talk about theater. I was trying to think like terms for theater or about if this is just whatever I thought of that deals with the theater. And the first thing is this is the American spelling, theater ER, and this is British spelling with RE. But even within the United States, theaters that, have plays and things, not so much movie theaters, a lot of times will spell their name RE. So either spelling is appropriate. So we're going to talk about the theater. I just have a few books here for fun. I have Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, which is a cool looking book. The Best Plays of 1946 and 47, and Les Miserables. I'm going to move these out of the way though right now because, so you guys have a brand new point of view here. See my wall. Hold on, move that out of the way. So in a recent video, a commenter, I think it was on, may have been the NFL video, said that I was a dipshit. And I just want to say that person hadn't seen this that I built for you guys today. Let me move it back far enough. Oh, wait, we're going to have to raise the camera. Hold on. I thought I had this set up. Come on, camera. Oh, is it up? No. Hold on, sorry. Oh, okay. I think we've got it. And this, my friends, is the theater. So this kind of theater is a proscenium theater. And what that means is that there is this piece right here at the front of the, not the total front of the stage, but towards the front of the stage. And sometimes you'll have multiple levels of, layers that kind of look in on it. And then the curtain is just behind this. And the actors can go in, they act back here. And this part of the stage that sits forward of the proscenium is called the apron. And then many bigger theaters will have a pit in front of the stage where the orchestra would be. And I have one of my Halo guys. I think this is Master Chief. I learned from comments in another video. And he's our maestro. So he would face towards the stage to direct the orchestra, which would be in the pit. And I believe that's partially so he can see what the actors are doing on stage and take cues. Cue is a word in theater that is so a cue is when an actor, how do I explain it? It's I actually took a note on that because I'm like, how do you say that? A signal prompting an event. An event. So sometimes it can be a lighting cue if like a light flashes, or it can be a sound cue. Sometimes like a actor will pound his cane if he's holding one, and then the other actors know that's the cue to do something. It can be all kinds of things. Sorry, my throat's like a little cracky. Okay, so then we have our audience. And they would be seated. Let's move the stage back a little for right now. In some theaters, every theater is going to be a little different, but sometimes they'll have it set up kind of like this. So the aisleways are here, and there's rows in the center and rows on either side, but not like all the way over. They're still in front of the stage because that's a different kind of stage, and we'll talk about that. So the rows are generally like the first row is row A, second row is row B, third row is row C. And then usually the center, and this can vary from theater to theater, but oftentimes the center rows will be 3 numbers. So like it would be, I actually had them thinking they were going this way, to be honest, because I think usually the low will start over here. So this would be like 101, 102, 103. And so 101 would go all the way back. 102 would go all the way back. 103 would go all the way back. But this would be row, A, B, C. So if you're in row A, 103, you're the third row in on the first. And then these outer ones, a lot of times they will number these with single numbers. And they'll put odds on one side and evens on the other. So these will go 1, 3, 5, 7. And these would go 2, 4, 6, 8. And that way, here I have this guy. He's an usher. So when you come up and show him your ticket, he can look at it and say, oh, they're on the even side. So their row, their number seats 6 through 8. He knows to go over to this side and bring you down this aisle to help you get into your seat. And it used to be every theater had ushers who'd walk you to your seat. Nowadays, that's less common. I mean, they usually have some around who will help you if you need help. But I think more and more they expect you to just find your way to your seat. Okay, so that's seating. Here we have the orchestra. Let's pull this out so I can get to it. This is the curtain. And one thing theaters have is a thing called an iron, which is a curtain that's hidden. But sometimes on theaters, they'll use pyrotechnics on stage. So they have a curtain that can be pulled down that's a safety fire barrier between the stage and the audience to protect the audience in case of fire. And then I made this. Hold on, let me. This is impressive. Get ready. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Why not working? Okay. So this is called, this is after everybody's gone home at night. They have a light that just sits on the stage and burns all the time overnight. And that's called a ghost light. And there is, talk that a ghost light is so that the ghost can act at night and they won't take out vengeance during the day. And there are other stories. But I think the most reasonable story is it lights the stage at night. So if after they've turned off the lights, if somebody has to cross the stage, to get out of the building or whatever, they don't accidentally fall in the orchestra pit. Or sometimes they have trap doors on the stage where they can hide things underneath the stage, or even just set furniture. You don't trip on it. So that's what a ghost light is. So that would burn all the time. So that's kind of neat. All right, so let me remove this just for a second so I can show you something else. And we might go back to that in a minute. I'm going to move the orchestra and all the people because I just want to show you this real quick. Okay. I have this box of sheet metal screws I'm going to use. So when theater was, back like in the Greeks, I think, created theater. Now, I didn't look that up, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And the way they would set up a theater is, here are your people watching. And they would be on a flat surface. And so in order for them to be able to see the actors, they couldn't have a flat stage, because once you're back here, you'd be hidden by these guys. So they made what's called a raked stage. So you'd have an actor here and an actor here. And so this is called upstage. Oh, I can't write like this. And this is called, I think I am a dipshit. Turns out. God. Okay, hold on. Downstage. And this is called Downstage. So it's kind of like the opposite of what you might think, because I think a lot of people would think this is upstage because it's closer to the audience. But what it actually is this is upstage and this is downstage. And the term upstaging someone comes from if this guy back here starts really hamming it up and basically starts forcing this actor to have to turn to talk to him so he's facing this direction, then all the audience is looking at him. And so that's called upstaging someone. And that's where that, if you've ever heard someone say, oh, he was upstaging me, that's what that comes from. I know something else. So we'll unrake the stage, because nowadays the way it is, your stage is flat and the audience is raked. So the audience kind of goes up so you can see the full stage. Some stages have some rake still, but I'm just kind of speaking generally. If you've ever heard stage right and stage left, that is from the actor's point of view. So stage right would be over here and stage left would be over here, because it's from their point of view looking towards the audience. Okay, and then I know, here I have this. Hold on. This is really cool. You're going to like this. Okay. This is getting high end, isn't it? Okay, so this is called a flat. And a flat is a set piece where they put a perspective drawing on it so they can make like this is a street with houses. So it feels like the actor, it could walk up on here. It gives it the depth that you might not have in reality. And you put a flat on a thing called a truck. And a truck is basically a flatbed with wheels, so you can roll it. And you can roll it on and off stage, and maybe you'd have, a ton of these like lined up, and you can roll out different flats. So it looks like you're in Paris and then you're in London, and, you can roll them on and off the stage. Okay, so that's that. And an actor who is on stage is often called a thespian. And if you're ever around people of my age from the 80s, you may hear them say, Master Thespian. And that is because on SNL, John Lovitz used to do a skit where he would say, Master Thespian. And it's funny. John Lovitz is hilarious. Okay. Let me think what else. Okay, hold on. I think I want to take apart my stage real quick. Sorry, that was loud. I could have done that quieter. So there's a type of stage. We looked at the proscenium stage. And then there's a stage. Actually, I could have showed that to you with this on. But let's say it has a back on here. Stay. And then the audience is on three sides of it. So the audience is here, and in front. Where'd my audience go? There he is. So the audience, let's say the wall's the back. Okay, so there's audience on all three sides. That's called a thrust stage. But a lot of colleges have what's called a black box theater. And they're pretty cool because in a black box theater, you can basically, they use like a stage that's removable and movable and can be changed. So they could put the stage in any direction. They could have theater, what's called theater in the round, where there's audience on all three sides. Or they could make it like a thrust stage. So they can move So they could move the seats around. They can move the stage around. So it's pretty good for small theater, you can make it all kinds of things. All right, what else? What else am I thinking of saying? So when an actor is on stage acting, thespian, if he suddenly turns towards the audience and starts speaking to the audience, and these actors are just going about their business and don't know he's doing that, that is called breaking the fourth wall. And the fourth wall is the audience. So when they're on stage acting, they're supposed to kind of pretend like there's a wall here. They don't see the audience. But every now and then, as a device, they will break the fourth wall. Oh, and there is a space above the stage, like up here. And that is where they can have, like, what do you call them? I want to say scrims, but I'm not sure that's the right word. But they have like scenery on a canvas, even almost. And they can drop those down. And that's the flies. I think it's called flies. And they have lights up there, obviously. And a lot of times they'll have even like walkways, like catwalks up here. Oh, you can't see that high up. Hold on. Let me move. Okay. So they can be up here and they're, behind the scenes people who I should have a name for right now. I can't think. Anyway, and they can drop like different screens, and they can change the lighting from up above. And then if an actor is over off stage where you can't see him, so like right in here, right off stage, I need my light so we can see better maybe. But so he's right over here. That's called in the wings. So if you're off stage, but within here, you're in the wings, and then you come out. Some theaters use a fog machine, a fog device, and that's what puts that fog into the theater. Now, when I was around theater, everybody used to start coughing. As soon as you hit the fog, people start coughing in the audience. And the story was always, it doesn't make you cough. It's just psychological. But it's interesting because I was reading about it today, and apparently in like 2017, they did some studies, I think on a theater in Toronto, and found that no, that fog stuff might actually be bad for you. I mean, I don't think that's what's necessarily making people cough, but if you were acting and breathing it every single night, it might not be that good for you. I don't know. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Something I use a lot of, but they use on theater, is props. And props are anything, like if this guy had a telephone in his hand, that would be a prop. If he had a suitcase he carried, that's a prop. So those are props. So once they finish with the play, they come out here to take a bow. And the audience might say, bravo, bravo. But that's generally more in like opera and ballet and orchestra, that they say bravo, but they usually applaud. And I have noticed something, and this might sound obnoxious of me, but that it used to be pretty rare to get a standing ovation. You had to be doing something pretty spectacular to get a whole crowd to give you a standing ovation. You might get a smattering of people, but to get a whole crowd. But I've noticed in recent years when I go to the theater, everybody is standing ovation for everything, which is fine. I mean, I guess I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of like, I saw a play not that long ago, and I'll be honest, it wasn't that good. And they gave it a standing ovation, and my husband and I were kind of just going, I don't know. But I guess it's nice. I guess they work hard and they're there, so maybe they deserve it. I don't know if you guys have a feeling about that or an opinion. Feel free to share it. It kind of reminds me of, you know, I don't know. I'm going to get into a bed of worms here. Bed of worms? No. What is it called? A worm? Anyway, whatever. But it kind of reminds me of tipping right now, how, you can go to a place where they don't do anything for you and they have the machine. It's like 30% tip. I'm going, well, that's a lot. And I was a waitress for 13 years. I'm a believer in big tips. Anywho, all right. So, am I forgetting anything? Let me think. If you guys think of anything else, please share it in the comments because I think it would be fun to share. Let me take a look. I did write down some notes here. Let me see if one thing is Broadway is the street in New York where a lot of theater is, but that is not the meaning of like off-Broadway doesn't mean it's on a street off of Broadway. Off-Broadway means it's a theater that's smaller, 100 to 499 people, apparently. So I think 500 and up could be Broadway. And then I think smaller than 100 is off Broadway. Let's see, did I forget anything else? I have... This is I said that. Actors. You have the director who directs the play. You have a playwright who writes the play, and they call them playwrights, like WRIGHT. It's old fashioned like that. Stage manager manages that all. I think I said all that. Oh, my husband said blocking. So like actors have planned movements. It's not like they're just up there walking around random. They actually sometimes even have tape on the floor so they know exactly where to go and stop. And if they want to change their movement, they have to talk to, they should converse with the stage manager, the director, because they want to make sure they have the lights in the right spot at the right time, and etc. I don't know what else. So that's one thing. I think that's all I have here. So yeah, the proscenium is almost like a picture frame for the stage. And then they open the curtains. If I could have done a little curtain, pull the curtain, I would have, but I couldn't make my little Amazon box. See, this is an Amazon box. And I put this on the front. Professional. All right, guys. Well, if you have any other thoughts, please in the comments just let me know. I can't think of anything else. All right. Talk to you later. I can't reach the other light. I was going to turn it off to make the stage just have the ghost light. I love the idea of a ghost light. A lot of times it's just a bare light bulb on the stage, and they just leave it lit all night. If you watch the movie Maestro, there's a scene where Carey Mulligan's character and Bradley Cooper's character are in the theater, and the ghost light's sitting there on the stage while they're talking. It's cool. And actually, Only Murders in the Building had a plot point that had to do with a ghost light this past season, I think. So you can definitely hear about those. Oh, and you're not supposed to say the word Macbeth in the theater. I discussed this a little bit in the video on Shakespeare, but it's bad luck. And break a leg that you say to actors before they go out is because they don't want to be told good luck, because they think it'll jinx it and give them bad luck. So you say break a leg, because then, maybe something good will happen. And there's a lot of different stories about that. Like my son said, I heard it had to do with assassination and John Wilkes Booth broke his leg, but I think it goes back way before that, so I don't think that's really true. I can't think of anything else. I know I will. As soon as I finish this, I'll think of 10 different things I should have said. But if you've never seen any theater, go find something. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. Alright, guys. I'll talk to you later.